and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to do a peanut stir fry. Very exciting. I've got my wok all ready to go. But before we start stir frying, we're going to do a couple things first. One is cook the rice if you're serving this over rice. So I've got my rice going on the back there. And we're going to make a sauce. And I'm going to do a peanut sauce because it's so delicious. And it's basically the same peanut sauce that I use for different purposes. So if you watched my Thai fresh rolls video, I use the same peanut sauce. I'm just going to make it a little bit more liquid since it's going on to the stir fry. Now, stir fry in general is a very healthy way to cook vegetables because it uses very little oil, very little water. It cooks them very quickly, so they're not exposed to heat for very long, but it softens them up a little bit so they're easier to digest. And the cooking quickly with high heat, with little oil, little water, means that they retain a lot of their nutrients. So we get started with the sauce. So our sauce starts with a good spoonful of peanut butter, and actually I like to use a fork to mix this up because I find it gets through the peanut butter easier. We're going to soften it up with a bit of sesame oil, the untoasted kind. The toasted kind is a very distinct flavor. So if you use too much, it can be a little bit overpowering. So I just put in a little bit of that. Oops. Wasn't watching, and that was probably a little bit too much, but what are you gonna do? I'm also going to put some tamari in here. Good amount of that. That's where the salt is coming through. That's gonna combine this sauce together in terms of flavor. So I'm not adding any salt, I'm just adding tamari. Lots of people, when they're making a sauce, will put tamari and miso together, but because they're both made from fermented soybeans, putting them together confuses their flavor. So I use one or the other. In this one, I like to use tamari. You want to stir this until it comes together into a smooth sauce. So if you see the texture there, all of those components of the sauce have come together because of the salt and the tamari. Then I'm going to add some vinegar, and I use apple cider vinegar. Brown rice vinegar, fine as well. It has more of an Asian flavor, but apple cider vinegar is better on the digestive system. The vinegar is going to cause things to separate again, so you got to make sure you stir it up nice. And then just go with whatever texture you want for this. Like I said, I like this one a little bit more liquid than I would a peanut dipping sauce. So I've got quite a bit of vinegar there. I wouldn't add too much vinegar. If you need to thin it out, I would add water. The vinegar is pretty powerful. Once your sauce is together, let that sit to let the flavors combine. I'm going to use a little bit of dried seaweed in this one. Seaweeds have an incredible amount of minerals in them, including iodine. It's one of the richest sources of iodine, which is crucial to your thyroid function, which controls metabolism. So among other reasons to eat them, there's one. Excellent source of minerals. So what I do with the dried is I put them in a little bit of water and let them soak, and they're going to expand quite large from where they start. I'm using a wakame seaweed, and this is where it starts dried. And you can see they're just starting to open here. They'll be much bigger than this by the time they're done. Normally when I'm cooking vegetables, I'll cut them as I go to make sure they maintain their freshness, but with stir fry you need to cut all of your vegetables up front because things are going to happen really quickly, and you need to be constantly stirring, hence the name stir fry, so you don't have time while things are cooking to chop stuff up. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting up my carrots, my broccoli, and my red pepper. I'm going to get them all set, and I'm going to put a little bit of green onion in this as well. So I'm going to cut those up nicely as well. To cut up broccoli florets so that you get nice pieces here, cut from this part of the stem down as opposed to the other way, and that way they'll stay together in nice chunks. I also cut up the broccoli stem. If you just take off the outside of the skin, it's nice and soft in here, cooks up really nicely. Before you start stir frying, make sure that your rice is getting close to done or is already done. It'll stay hot, but the stir fry you need to serve fresh. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to 6.5, which is out of 9. So I'd call that medium high. Wait till this is really nice and hot. We're gonna get some sesame oil, not the toasted kind. And you may have noticed that I've kept the vegetables separate on my cutting board because I'm gonna still add them one at a time, like I would if I was cooking them slower. And I'm gonna start with the carrots, then the broccoli, then the peppers, and then the green onion right at the very end. All right, the wok is ready. Add the tiniest bit of oil. And start with the carrots. Now this is gonna be a really hot pan, so be careful. And stir. Keep them moving around the pan. They only need a couple minutes. Then move on to the broccoli. And stir. You're just looking for the very slightest start of the cooking process. So the color in the broccoli is starting to deepen right now. Just very slightly, if you can see that. So we're ready for the pepper. And last but not least, the green onion. Sometimes things will fly out of the pot. They try to escape. All I need to do, apprehend them and put them back in the pot. Okay. The last step is the fun part. You take the slightest bit of oil, pour it down the side here, keep stirring, and that's where the vegetables finish cooking, is with a light steam. Turn the heat off and get this off of the element. Now I'm adding this seaweed here. So I'm just going to squeeze the excess water out of there. If there are any big chunks, you could chop them up. And make sure that they don't stick together in a clump, because a big clump of seaweed in your mouth probably isn't what you're looking for. Okay. Stir those guys around. I've got a bowl with some rice in there. Put these vegetables on top. And top with my peanut sauce. There's your healthy vegan peanut stir fry. I'm Heather, this is Freshly Served. You can find the recipe for this and other delicious vegan meals at www.healthyveganrecipes.net.